We bought a lot of different tools for our transit van conversion that we're wrapping up, and I just wanted to share some of the different tools and items that we bought that I kind of felt like we wasted a little bit of money on because they didn't work as good as we were hoping, or we just didn't use them as much as we thought we were going to. And the first thing is a table saw. Now, I didn't buy a table saw specifically for the van build, but I think it's one of those things where the table saw is only going to make straight cuts, and there's so many angles in the van that I felt like anytime we were using the table saw, I was kind of forcing myself into using the table saw just because we had it. So I don't think you really need a table saw for a van build, and when you need to make straight cuts, instead just consider a circular saw with a kind of makeshift track saw. And I've got a video that I didn't make, but I'm just going to link to somebody else's video because that's where I got the idea from on how you can make a track saw so you don't really have to buy a table saw for your own van build. The other thing that we kind of wasted money on is over here, and is our manual plus nut setter. Now, I think it's a great tool, but I don't think it's a great tool if you need to do like more than, I don't know, a dozen plus nuts at a time. When we did the walls in our van, we did like 400 different plus nuts, and that would have absolutely killed our hands. And the pneumatic plus nut gun was just a way better choice. So spend a little extra money on this was much nicer. And since we have that, I feel like we kind of wasted our money on this one. The other thing that was a waste of money was just poor planning on my side was hole saws. Now, hole saws are fantastic, don't get me wrong. We used them a lot in the van, and I use them a lot for other stuff. But don't buy singular hole saws. I mean, it's going to be over $100 for a full set of good quality hole saws, but I don't know. I don't even want to think about how many dollars I've spent in hole saws just buying singular hole saws there. The other items are over here in the toolbox, and the first thing is a oscillating multi-tool. And I think this is a great tool, but not necessarily for van builds. I feel like every single time that I tried to use this, it was just more noisy than it was anything else. And I think this is great for like house remodels and cutting door casings and stuff like that, but for van builds, I don't know. I don't think I would probably buy one if I didn't already have one. The other thing is a battery-powered heat gun. So I got this battery-powered heat gun, and I think it works great for like really small wires, for like heat shrink on like 12 gauge, 16 gauge wires, that kind of thing. But for like 4/0 wires where it's like really big and thick heat shrink, it just doesn't get hot enough. And so I find myself just going to like a, oh, it's not in here, but just a regular old corded heat gun, and it typically works way better, and it's actually quite a bit cheaper. The last thing is this big air compressor. Now, this was expensive. It was like, what, still have the sticker on it. It was like $550. And we bought this specifically for our lizard skin ceramic and sound deadening insulation. And we needed to have a big compressor that was pretty powerful to run the HVLP gun to spray that stuff on the inside. And where it's nice to have a big compressor, I just don't feel like I use the capabilities of it very often, because realistically that HVLP gun is the only thing that takes that much air. Whenever I'm just airing up tires or anything like that, I've had this little small pancake air compressor over here that I've had this thing for years, and it works perfectly for that. So, I mean, unless you're running big air tools or HVLP sprayer for lizard skin or whatever the case is, something like this is going to fit the bill perfectly for you, and it's going to be like, I don't know, probably a quarter of the price. And realistically, that is all of the tools that we kind of bought and then didn't use as much. And now that I have shared my vulnerabilities on poor tool choices, I want to know what you guys have purchased and then end up not using or wasn't impressed with, or whatever the case is. So leave all that stuff in the comments because I want to see. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.